The main event, Beneil Dariush coming in at plus 220 against Arman Tsarukyan at minus 280. Over under 3.5 rounds, minus 130 for the over, and even money on the under. Beneil Dariush, 34 years of age, coming off his first loss in a very long time to the man Charles do Bronx Oliveira. That was kind of his shot to the title there. Now he's got to take a step back against Arman Tsarukyan, who has been one guy that people have been keeping their eyes on as a future title challenger and a future champion, as many have deemed him. And he's 4-1 in his last 5. He had that loss to Mateusz Gamrot, pretty controversial decision, but he did take the loss and then comes back and he had a cancel bout with Renato Moicano. In steps Joaquim Silva, who we'll talk about later on this card. He gets him out of there in the 3rd round, TKO. So this guy has been highly talked about by the MMA community for a while. He's not the biggest star, but if you watch the UFC even just a little bit, you watch him fight and you're like, yeah, this guy's got it, because he's very well-rounded, obviously more of a grappler type style. He's going to want to chain wrestle you, get you on the ground, land some big ground and pound, but on the feet, he's also got some pretty solid striking. Looked like he wanted to show that off against Joaquim Silva. Damn near, he got wobbled in the 2nd round there. And then I think he was like, all right, we're done with this, trying to, mess around with this guy, gets him out of there in the 3rd round. But before that, dominant win over Damir Ismagulov. And it was a really impressive performance because he just kind of ragdolled Ismagulov, who's a good fighter. Beneil Dariush, he's been around for a long time. It's going to be his 23rd UFC fight. So he's got a wealth of experience and coming in as a big dog. It's a little intriguing. What do you think?
Yeah, like I said earlier, man, this is going to be such a high level exchange of grappling this whole entire fight. And I like Arman Tsarukyan a lot. I think he's getting some pushback from his last fight where he got rocked on the feet in the 2nd round and almost put away. But besides that, he's fought pretty well in most of his fights. I mean, the Gamrot fight, I thought he won. It was a unanimous decision win for Gamrot. But, at the end of the day, that was a really, really close fight, and he outstruck him and looked pretty good a lot of times in that fight. For Beneil Dariush, he's just getting a little older, man. He's starting to get up there, and I think it showed a little bit against Charles Oliveira in the fact that Oliveira likes to put pressure in your face, and he likes to get after it and not let you breathe. And we saw Beneil kind of crumble under that pressure. He got backed up to the fence. He ate some big shots. And from there, Charles was able to finish the fight. I don't think Arman is on that level, obviously, with the striking. But as far as the pressure and the pace, like Arman's going to be there for 5 rounds. And if Beneil can't match that past the 2nd and 3rd round, I think Arman's just kind of going to do what he wants with him. And wouldn't be surprised here if you see Arman find the finish via TKO, actually. I don't think Arman's going to be submitting Beneil. Beneil's very good on the ground defensively and offensively. But, when you're that tired and you got a guy with that much pressure putting it on you this whole entire fight, I just don't know how well he's going to fare against a guy like Arman Tsarukyan. And, Beneil on the feet is going to probably be the better striker, but he's not a guy that just blows you away with his technical striking or anything. He gets a little wild at times. And Arman, we've seen in past fights where his striking could improve, but at the same time, it seems to be getting better at the same time. Like he's pretty sound on the feet. He's not lacking tremendously, like you could say at the beginning of his career. I think it's getting better. I think he, being the younger fighter, he's got a wealth of UFC experience at this point against some decent guys. I think he should be able to get Beneil Dariush out of there.
Yeah, this is it's a tough one as far as the price goes, because Beneil Dariush was a favorite over Charles Oliveira, and now he's coming in as a sizable underdog against a guy who's up and coming in Tsarukyan. But Tsarukyan, since he's been in the UFC, made his debut against Islam, and then he's really just been fighting killers pretty much. Joaquim Silva is like one of the guys probably lower on the totem pole as far as his competition, like wins over OAM, who's the PFL 2-time champion now, Matt Favola, Christos Yagos, Joel Alvarez, Damir Ismagulov. So he's got some good wins on his record. But in this one, it seems like a tough matchup for Beneil in the fact that Tsarukyan's probably going to be faster, maybe a little bit stronger in the clinch. Maybe not as good as jiu-jitsu as Dariush has, but I mean, that top pressure in the wrestling might just pretty much negate all that. So, I mean, it's a tough matchup. Beneil on the feet, I would give a slight edge, but at the same time, I don't know how it's going to play out because he's kind of more of a methodical striker. He's not going to blow you away with his speed or his power. He's not really out there cold cocking dudes. I mean, he's got a couple TKOs and KOs in the past 3 years. One to Scott Holtzman, spinning back fist, and then he knocked out Drakkar Klose in that wild fight. But other than that, like, he does not really knocking dudes out like that. So, yeah, I mean, for the pick, I'm going to go with Arman Tsarukyan, but I don't love the line. I know this line opened a lot closer, but I mean, since then it's kind of steamed towards Arman's way. He'll be the pick for me. I don't know if I'll bet it though, just for the fact that Dariush has been here, done that. We've seen it against Gamrot when Gamrot fought Beneil. Gamrot was a favorite in that one, and Beneil showed like there's levels to this. If you're gonna come fight these top 5 guys, like, you better be very well rounded. And Gamrot just had nothing for him on the feet. Dariush was able to, win the exchanges on the ground with the transitions. Tsarukyan could come in here and look the same way, but for now, Tsarukyan's going to be the pick for me.